Hi, today I would like to talk about how to deal with hurt feeling and what is the importance of knowing more about hurt. And in order for us to know more about it, we would like to know the difference between hurt, disappointment, and being let down by others. And where is this hurt stems from? And why do we feel it in such a strong way from people we care about, not strangers? Hurt comes from significant people in our life, partner, family members, friends, as well as hurt comes in people treating us badly. I don't deserve that. And the most common sentences it comes up to our mind is, they don't care about me, they don't love me. Why they said this insensitive words to me? I don't deserve that. It is very important for us to know the difference between hurt and disappointment. Hurt is unhealthy negative emotion, and disappointment is healthy negative emotion. They are both negative, but disappointment is something that a human being view it in a more realistic way. We are able to communicate to these people about how we feel, but hurt is something unhealthy, and we don't want to leave it for too long. Then we end up with something else like anxiety or depression or anger. Anger is something very strongly associated with hurt. It is where we overestimate the unfairness of others treating us badly, the others behaving badly towards us. We shut down communications with that person and we criticize them without disclosing what's happening inside us or what's hurting us or what's bothering us. And because they said something insensitive, and we just go away and we don't want to communicate with them, and we expect them to find out what's happening with us or without expressing our emotion. So that's the overestimation of the unfairness, and at the same time that hurt from you. I want you to know what's happening with me without me telling you why, because you mean something to me and I mean something to you as well. So you are meant to know what's happening with me. And it's a very common thing between partners. The bad behavior towards us in a better way and in a realistic way. And what do I mean by a realistic way? Instead of shutting down communication with them and expect them to know what's happening with us, we're going to be open. We go to them and say, hey, the other day you said something that was so insensitive and I didn't like it, and I'd prefer that you don't disclose it or say it to others, or be more considerate when you say it to me. Disappointment is the better emotion to be in. To shift that emotion from being hurt, which is unhealthy negative emotion, to a disappointment, which is healthy negative emotion. But disappointment is healthy. It's a better feeling for humans to go through, because we are able to communicate it back to the person that said something insensitive or we felt betrayed. And as soon as we lift that weight off our shoulders, we feel much better and we are able to deal with the situation and with the feeling in the future. So why is it important when you notice those signs of falling into a hurt feeling? Because hurt is so painful. I think almost all of us went through that situation. And of course, it's quite unfortunate when others say something insensitive or not being considerate. But think about it. Some people, they might say they don't really mean it. Or sometimes people are just mean. Why? Because we are human beings and fallible human beings, remember, from us. So we could say mean things intentionally, unintentionally, and and so on. And the list goes on. Between hurt and disappointment. For some of you, they might think it's the same. It's not the same. Hurt is a bleeding heart. And disappointment is heart with a plaster on it that can heal, and we can move on and forget and live our life normally. But the bleeding heart is not easy to heal. So as soon as we see those different signs that we're falling into, we say, and I need to communicate back to that person on how I feel and express it to them. In the beginning, it might be difficult for you to do that, but it's easier if you fall into this practice where you are able to communicate your feelings back to that person. They might be difficult people to deal with. Get that. And it happens that we have family members or friends or a partner who have very specific way of communication with them. Fine. Then, but remember, we doing that for our best of interests. We doing it for ourselves because we want to live in a better life. That's the most important thing, that we are taking care of our life. You need to be calm because hurt comes with anger. This anger emotion comes in a very strong way, that we are treated in a bad way. I don't deserve that. As soon as we have those thoughts coming into our minds, like a car driving 70 miles per hour, then we are triggered. We are triggered, we are angry, we don't want to communicate to that person. We don't want to get to this point where we feel that we are so anxious about hurt, where we say, oh, here we go again, I'm feeling hurt, I'm very anxious about feeling hurt, or I shouldn't be hurt, and this means something about me, I am worthless. We don't want to get to this point where we damn and de-appreciate ourselves, and then we can't forgive ourselves for that situation, or for being in that situation with this significant person to us. We can feel depressed about feeling hurt. That's, again, I am feeling hurt. I shouldn't let myself feeling hurt again. We reflect on the past situation where we were hurt by others or let down by others, and then we have something comes up with it. Again, that I am worthless, or I don't mean anything to that person, or I am weak. So where is that hurt feeling stemming from, coming from? So we know by now from a previous video, comes from this irrational belief at the back of our mind. What do we say to ourselves to trigger ourselves in that bad? I mustn't feel hurt, or I mustn't be treated badly by others, and this is awful. I cannot stand it. I cannot tolerate it that I was treated badly, and this means I am worthless. This proves I am worthless. But in order for us to shift that to more healthy and rational belief, instead of demanding things in a more rigid and dogmatic way, we can just say, I prefer that I wasn't treated badly by that significant person in my life, but I accept that sometimes it happens. And it's not awful, so we acknowledge the situation that it was bad, and we say, instead of saying that I cannot stand it, or I cannot tolerate it, or I cannot cope, we say I can cope. It's frustrating. Again, we're acknowledging that. We're not pushing it under the carpet. And then we say, I accept that I'm a fallible human being, and others as well fallible human being, and I'm worthwhile regardless of the whole situation. To link our worth to a situation and who we are to just one situation in our life. This person, they might not really mean it. The situation will never change with family members, partner, friends, or colleagues, but the way we view it might change how we feel about it, if we want to feel hurt or disappointment. So we are not compromising our worth when we say that I prefer things were in a better way, but I accept it happens. These situations happens. I'd like to clarify something. When I say hurt, I'm not talking about extreme situations where to be very careful around that. So the hurt that I mean where situations, a partner forgets an important date, a friend remembers to go out or invite another friend without inviting. We want to hold that big sign or a flag in any situation we experience and acknowledge that we have partial emotional responsibility. I might experience with my friend might be viewed differently in a more funny way. With me, I might view it in a very sensitive way. Say, where is my evidence, okay, that I am not loved person by my parents or by my friend or by my partner, okay? Where is the logic? Does it make sense to me? Just because my friend said something, maybe she was busy, just because they forgot about it, it doesn't mean that I am so uncared or unloved or misunderstood. Okay, let me talk to them. I want to talk to them and find out more. And instead of going away, shutting down communication, and you don't want to criticize them without expressing your feeling to them. And your mind ruminating and saying all these different thoughts about yourself and about them and about life. To have less expectations from others. That's the key. The less expectations from others, the better. And you don't feel hurt. You will feel disappointment. You will feel let down. That's fine. You can just view it and say, okay, I didn't like the behavior of that person. And I'm going to go speak to them and make it clear that I didn't like it. If this person responds to you in a very kind way and apologize and you move on and you move forward, fair enough, great. We're going to let go and forgive and that's it, and we move on. But if you've noticed this person doing that over and over again, it is clear to them that you didn't like their behavior. So when we say that I accept you as a fallible human being, but I do not accept your behavior, then we have a choice. We accept ourselves, we accept others, and accept the world. And this comes from acknowledging that we are fallible human beings. Okay, we know that by now. But this will not affect my worthwhile, regardless of anything, regardless of that person's situation. This is the partial responsibility comes in here. They might have said, more likely, yes, of course, they've said something that hurt you and insensitive. But then how did you view that situation? Did you view it with overestimation? Or are you going to be the disappointed person where you view things in a more realistic way? You see the extent and the degree of the other's behavior. They behaved badly. I'm going to go and speak to them about it and express my feelings to them and let them know how I feel about it. And I do not link the past situations about hurt with my worthwhile now. That's a very important point here as well. And I am disappointed and I can move on in my life and they know about it. And hopefully they don't do it again. So thinking about ourselves as a precious person, but then you're not putting yourself down in this situation. You are not perfect, and they are not perfect as well. And I think this is the equation here. If you're able to solve it in your head, you would be able to live a better life. Communication is the key. I'll see you next time with a new topic and new video. Thank you. Bye.